Good morning, everybody. So let's have a look at Bitcoin. I see we've had quite a few interesting developments in Bitcoin over the last couple of days. So, firstly, if you're a new viewer, please subscribe and let's share the love. Anyway, so Bitcoin, as we know, has had a pretty big fall. And I suppose big is relative. Nothing goes up forever. So what I'm going to be doing is looking at Bitcoin on the Bill Williams alligator and the Bill Williams awesome oscillator combination. Okay, and we'll also look at Ether after this. So firstly on the weekly, I think the key element here from a price action perspective is that trend line. Okay, so what we do have here is we've got the alligator that's coming together. So in other words, the alligator is sleeping, which typically indicates the end of a move or a consolidation of a move. Okay, so it's either rolling over or it's consolidating for a push to the upside. If you look at the daily, I've got two lines here. Let's just take the daily line off. You'll see that currently we are above this weekly trend line. Okay, and if I redraw it on the daily, we'll be substantially above it. But in actual fact, I think we should do that. Delete. Just cover all three of these. So we've got three touches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we've got 4 touches, which means it's a pretty strong trend, and it's broken to the upside. Now, a key element here on the alligator is we have broken up. We consolidated here above the blue line before pushing up. Okay, you can see that the awesome oscillator started rolling over. You see the momentum started gaining traction here. So green means more momentum, and we crossed over the zero line. So at this point, we are bullish. Okay, so what we would expect to happen now with the awesome oscillator is for us to continue climbing nice and steady, kind of like this, nice and steady until we start peaking where we have a warning that it's going to turn. Okay, so just want to check if it hasn't formed a fractal on the daily. So the fractal on the daily is sitting here on this pin bar here. So this peak here is a fractal. This one does have more than 2 higher lows on the daily on the left hand side, but on the right hand side we have a high there, then we have a one lower high, and then it's a high. So it's not really a fractal. In a smaller time frame it may be, but on the daily it's not. Okay, so from Bill Williams' perspective is this pin bar here. Okay, and sorry, the light purple lines here are the Bollinger Bands. Okay, so just ignore those. I just use them for just additional confirmation, and I'll show you now why. So if you look at this consolidation, we stepped out the Bollinger and then we started moving inside. So we have Bollinger diversions. So in other words, the downward selling pressure is coming to an end as it moves sideways, and then you see the Bollinger starting to turn up, which is indicating that we are going up. Okay, now big thing on the Bollinger here is that you're pointing up and you're pointing down, which is indicating there is a big move on the way. Okay, so it may just go sideways and then the Bollinger will turn, but at this stage there is expected for a big move to happen. And if I give you an example of that, let's go to I'll get onto the lower time frame. It'll be clearer there. Okay, so what we're expecting here is some support to be found, probably at this level here, at the 9,100 area. But bearing in mind that price loves round figures, so we may actually push all the way through to somewhere around 10,000 before coming back. But what price action dictates is we move up, we break a trend line like this, and then we would expect a retest. Okay, so a retest of this area. So if we do get a retest of this area, that would be a great buying opportunity. And delete that. So there's a gap in the data here because IG doesn't believe in 24-hour trading on Bitcoin. So for some reason I think they only open it at 10 o'clock in the morning. I'll go to the, unless they've changed something. Anyway, so we have a level here, which we're kind of just coming to on the 4-hour. Okay, we have another level there, and then we have a couple of levels. So we have one there, and we have one there. So a couple of key things here. You can see how, so when we talk about the Bollinger, you see how Bollinger was going straight here, straight, then it started pointing down, started pointing up, and then we had this big move up, and then you see that the Bollinger started rolling and started running up, which basically means your momentum is coming to an end. And if you correlate that to the awesome oscillator, you can see how we, at the same time, this is heading down. Okay, we head into a Bollinger Squeeze or a range, and early in the week I said that this was a range, and we were expecting a breakout of the range. We're long, and I was long anyway, and so that was the original range, and we had this little spike below on the 200 moving average, also on the blue line of the Bill Williams. So it found support, and often when this happens, when it finds support on the blue line, you can pretty much take the trade at that time with a very low risk, especially when you have a reversal like this. You could have got in here with a stop there, or you could have just waited for this 50% to be tested on the range again. But a bounce off the blue line like this is normally very bullish. Okay, and now you can see how the Bollinger is now opening up, pointing straight up, and starting to point down, and exactly the same thing is happening here. Okay, and you can see how the awesome oscillator is just running nicely, green, 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 and we're also above the alligator. So from the alligator perspective, the alligator was sleeping here. So in other words, it was just ranging all over the place. Then we had a breakout, and then hungry alligator pointing to the upside like this. You trade to the upside. Okay, another trade, and you can still be holding this at the moment. So we are far away from the alligator. And if you watch my Bill Williams videos, you will see, I want to delete that at this stage we have diversions from price. So we look where price crosses over this red line, which is there, and I draw a line up. That's my price line. Okay, now I draw a line here to the red line. So you can see how wide this distance is. That is divergence from the red line. Okay, so there is a warning here that there could be a pullback. The other thing is that you outside the Bollinger Band as well. So what could happen here is a small pullback or a consolidation while price gets closer to the Bill Williams. But as it looks now, standing up like that, don't see any reason why you'd actually want to get out of this if you were in. What you'd be looking for now is to add to your position on the next pullback. Okay, let's just have a quick look at Ether, and let's also have a look at the Bill Williams. And okay, so my weekly doesn't have enough data at the moment. I'm going to skip that and head straight to the daily. Okay, so from Ether's perspective, we have sort of just got above the 200 EMA. Okay, we have broken through. You can see again how the blue line offers resistance, and then we break and we use it as support, and then we move up. So for me, the sure trade is always on the blue line. Yeah, if resistance holds on the blue line, then I'm pretty confident that the price will continue moving down. If we break that blue line, then typically I'm looking for confirmation of a move to the upside, which we got at the break of this range. Okay, and you'll always notice that it kind of coincides with the switching up over the zero line. You'll see. So here we switched below, and then we came back to the blue line, and we're still below the zero line, and stayed below the zero, moved down. And you can see how it moves down. Okay, so right now on Ether, I also expect some kind of a pullback. Let's just get to the 4 hours. We can get something. So, and if you look at this one, so you have from where price crosses on the red line here, we'll take it from there to where price currently is, and we take this line along the red line, and you can see it's not as wide as what is on Bitcoin, but there is a divergence. Normally what you're looking for a nice trend is something running like that, sort of on the green line. You see how close it is. Okay, so, and you can see this is still a pretty strong trend at the moment. Strong trend well above the green line, just trending upwards, nice, slowly, methodical. So what kind of pullback can we expect? Probably, what's this, the high of the week? So that's the previous high of last week. So we could see something come back to this area, or alternatively just head sideways until we get close to the green line and move up, or just continue on this trend. So if you're in this trade, there's no reason to get out. You keep holding it until you see sort of this kind of price action here, until you see that kind of movement there. Then you want to watch it very carefully to see what's going to happen. If you break below here, if we put a line in there, so if you break below that swing low there, you'll see how you drop below the blue line of the alligator. So that would be an indication that the move is retracement's coming and it's moving to the downside. But at this stage, there's no reason to get out of this if you're in. I wouldn't get in long at this area. I would wait for a better position, so a pullback or a consolidation. So anything, let's just delete all drawn objects. So what you're looking for really is this kind of thing, okay, where it consolidates. Now the last thing on this, I just want to get, okay, so there are three possible scenarios here, and I'm going to take the most logical one, which is this one here to there. So our target here is 622.5. Okay, so that's an area. If we just have a look to the left to see what's here. Yeah, okay, so that area there. Let's just look further to left, nothing else. Okay, so that is a previous swing high there. So that could probably be an area of profit taking. So we could just slowly grind up to here before we move down and then back up again. So that's an area of profit taking. And why I say there's three scenarios is I've taken the measured move from here. And remember, the measured move is basically the distance that price travels from this low to this high is then replicated from the low, which is that low, because it's now consolidating, okay? So it's replicated from the lowest point up to the same distance, equidistance of the first move. So that's the first one. And what I normally do is to see where there has been a decent retracement. So you can see here was a low, and we pulled up, and then we pulled down. Okay, and here's another low. We went up, and then we came down. So why I say there's multiple positions is there's one. Okay, and you can see there was a little bit of profit taking on that one. Okay, that was the first one, and then obviously you had another one here. So we had this one to there, wrong one. So from the low there to there to there, and it coincides with this one here. So that was the first one, that's the second one, and this was the third one. So you always go back to look for the most logical one, and that's the most logical one. But you could argue, and some people will take it from here all the way to there, but that's not the most logical one. Okay, because we are at a resistance point here. If you look there, there is resistance there. It's that low there. You see how it lines up perfectly. Okay, so the bigger move may play, but for me the first one is this one. And then what you're looking for is a pullback back to the 61 or the 50, somewhere around this area here. So hit there, bounce back to this area, maybe with a consolidation like we've consolidated before another breakout. So yes, I think both Ether and Bitcoin looking very, very, very bullish. I hope that helps the guys looking at the Bill Williams indicator. It's a great way of actually staying on the right side of the trade. I mean, if you look at the 4 hour, so long as you're staying above this blue line, you are on the right side of the trade. If you look on the move to the downside, you can see how you stayed above the blue line, and there was the first warning, and then we broke below. And then you can see how it gets all over the place, but essentially you can see there's a warning there, and we drop below. Now when price is doing this kind of thing, you're more in line to actually take the trade, and then you can see how far away we're falling from the red line. It's an indication there's a bounce coming, and the bounce happens. Yeah, you can see, again, when I use a Bollinger, you can see a Bollinger W. So, price is coming up, and your targets are always at the different levels. But for now, I think we have the making of a really good trend back on the cryptos. Hope it helps. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you later.